They are hiding inside of them. They're hiding inside them. They're hiding inside of them. I don't know. I wanted to sound that out to see how it sounded verbally. I talk about spiritual things and spiritual warfare, and I try my best to make it palatable to people who are not familiar in physical war, and also make it palatable for people who are familiar with physical war but who are not conditioned for emotional attacks. Spiritual attacks are mostly emotional attacks, and many of us, we are not conditioned, or we weren't conditioned or taught or allowed to develop the tools and skills to thwart, not only thwart, but to fight back with emotional attacks. And one thing that I found to be confusing about the whole situation was because people who were less emotionally intelligent than me were able to outwit me with emotional attacks. And go through some of the videos I did on this channel, and I have one talking about the narcissistic smirk. When I had time to analyze all these spirits that I was seeing in people over the decades, where I didn't have time all those years back, I didn't have time to analyze what was going on. But there were a lot of things that I was seeing in people where I literally put a note on it and set it aside. And I said, because it was so peculiar, one day I'm going to sit down and analyze these things. And I have. But I don't just analyze things by just thinking about things. I analyze things by interacting with people. Because there was a certain person that will always kick that narcissistic smirk. And I was like, I want to find out what that's about. So I noticed in the recent, I'll say decade, coming across people who have more people have, or let me say, more people have adapted to narcissistic personality traits, and most of the time it's because it's a defense mechanism. So I started seeing that narcissistic smirk in certain people. Not too many people. Now, there's more narcissistic people than what we were initially told, but it's not as many as people think. A lot of times people just have narcissistic personality traits, or they're just doing things that they just saw other people do and it worked. A lot of times they don't even really understand the impact or fully comprehend what they're doing. It doesn't make it any less dangerous. So a narcissistic smirk is pretty much is when somebody, they know that they're deceiving you and you haven't figured it out. So with these type of individuals, it starts to make them feel and think that they're smarter than everyone. And that's usually the sword that the narcissists fall on. So I started talking about things that I usually reserve to a select group of people, but I make it palatable for a broader audience and expanding what I'm saying to different group of people, of which I'm used to telling certain things to or exposing certain things to. So there's always been a misconception that people have given us when it comes to spiritual affairs. In particular, with the idea of evil. People have been taught, and we've been taught, which I saw very early in life that this wasn't true. People think that there's demons and negative energy that's just hiding. I use the analogy, and I'll be joking but serious at the same time, because I turn it into a little joke. I was like, and people sit up there and they think that there's some demons or something evil that's hiding and lurking around the corner and is ready to jump up out you. Meaning just some energy, just evil itself. And that's not true. Evil, and even good, is expressing the actions of people. There isn't any demonic demon energy that's just out lurking, looking for someone to jump in, like the Exorcist movie. I've been walking the streets of New Orleans, which is said to be one of the most haunted cities, or I think they call it the most haunted city in the world. And I've always felt safer out in the darkness in the streets than around a lot of people. And some people, I knew I was safer in the streets than around them. People have been taught and been led to believe that demons come and creep from the crevices of hell and jump inside people, and the demon is hiding inside the person. That's not true. People hide their demons. And I want to be clear on a certain level. We live in a world where masks are worn. Even our physical body, our physical appearance is a mask. It's really a vessel that our spirit uses to interact in the physical world. So it's not so much of as wearing a mask as people hiding their intent, people hiding who and what they really are. That's the problem. That's the dangerous part. Very early in life, and this is from what I've experienced firsthand, dealing with people. Very early in life, people hide their demons. They don't want other people to see their demons. Heard how I said their demons? It's not that the demon has possession of them. They're in possession of the demons. As I progress in this channel, I'm going to speak more and more about witchcraft, because people practice witchcraft in more practical ways than you would think. It's not always putting on a witch, whatever they wear, and dressing a certain way, and wearing a hoodie thing with a witch hat, standing over a cauldron, stirring up. And that's all just a metaphor, the cauldron, and they burning something and stirring up the pot. It's not always pentagrams. It starts off with lies, deceit. Illusions, tricks, deception, sleight of hand, the trick of the eye, to get people to believe something that's not real. That's all witchcraft. The fact that people hide things, and when things, in this instance I'm talking about demons, they know that it's wrong and it shouldn't be there, or they wouldn't hide it. Like when people do things and are abusive and harmful to others and they lie about it. And that very act is an admission that they know they're doing wrong. It's not the demons that's hiding in them. It's the demons they have hiding in themselves. And the spiritual warfare is real. It's not a war of the flesh. It's not a physical war. Now, physical war is a part of it, but anybody who studies the art of war, or study war itself, or have engaged in some level or some type of war, especially a physical war, you understand that the physical part of the war is the end of the war. The war is already fought in non-physical ways before it gets to a physical war. And a lot of people don't understand that.